Becoming a Halo World Champion cements you in an exclusive club of legends, a club which leaves most players satisfied. Not for OpTic Shotzzy though. After transitioning to the CDL in 2020, he put himself in a club so exclusive, it only has one member. Known for his flashy playstyle and highlight reel plays, will the new prince of Call of Duty take the green wall back to where it belongs? Now, many of you probably don't know this, but Shotzzy made a name for himself way before he could even compete in Halo 5. Everyone and their mom took notice of Shotzzy through Halo 2 Anniversary 2v2s, where Shotzzy had an unbelievable 200-0 record, beating many pros, until ultimately he fell to Ninja, but ultimately he fell to Nis, how talented this kid may be. When he was finally old enough to compete in Halo 5, he originally got picked up to a team called Inconceivable. Alongside him was fellow Halo players Boo Boo Doo, Shooter, and Falcated. And even from the very beginning, Shotzzy was known for his elite movement, flashy playstyle, and highlight plays. But Shotzzy didn't just become an overnight success. In fact, the first year competing, he had pretty lackluster performances. But that all changed at the HCS Pro League Summer Finals in 2017, where then on Team Splice, he got his first LAN event win in Halo. And then Shotzzy and Splice went on a tear for the rest of the year, winning 3 more events, including the Halo World Championship. But that wasn't enough for Shotzzy, because even though he had already made well over $200,000 in prize earnings, he wanted more. Not knowing what Halo's future held, Shotzzy didn't just want to wait around. Instead, he decided to try his hand at a different first-person shooter in Call of Duty. But things were a little different, because Call of Duty had an age requirement of 18 compared to Halo 16, so Shotzzy essentially had to wait out a year. That was during Black Ops 4, where Shotzzy just tried to make a name for himself in the S&D scene, in wagers and tournaments, and people were starting to take notice. They had already heard about Shotzzy being a movement king, and he has a lot of potential and a lot of talent, but they didn't know if he could put it together in a Call of Duty game. And at the time, Shotzzy thought his first taste of competitive Call of Duty was going to come in the challenger scene, because he was still contracted to Splice, which then was Toronto Ultra, and he thought he was going to be on the Ultra Academy. But things turned out just a little bit differently for him, because even though a lot of Call of Duty professionals knew about Shotzzy and the potential he had, they didn't want to invest in giving him an opportunity off the rip, except for one player, Call of Duty superstar Huke. Huke had to go to Halo because of the age requirement, and he actually got to not only know Shotzzy, but compete against him, so he truly knew the potential that he had. So with the help of Huke, Hastro and Envy were able to buy Shotzzy out of his Splice contract going into the Modern Warfare season, which it hasn't been confirmed, but the rumors are that it was around $250,000. Not only was Shotzzy given an opportunity to instantly start in the pro scene, he got to play with some of the greatest players of all time. His team was Huke, Illy, and then 2 players that you guys probably know, Clayster and Crimsix. Shotzzy started off Modern Warfare relatively slow. In fact, one of his first series on LAN, it didn't go so well, and people were already claiming that he was a bust. Shotzzy didn't let the noise get to him though. Instead, he turned it into motivation, and shortly after the rough start, Shotzzy and the Dallas Empire turned into one of the best teams in the game. And not only that, but Shotzzy was starting to showcase his skills to the world and really live up to his reputation. The Dallas Empire ended up winning 3 home series that year, and they won the Call of Duty Championship, and he became a Call of Duty World Champion in his first year competing. So even though Shotzzy was relatively new to the FPS scene in general, after his first Call of Duty year, he was in a club of his own. He didn't want to just be in a club of other multi-FPS champions. You may know some of them, like Frosty, like Formal, like Huke, like myself. He decided he wanted to one-up us, not by just being a multi-FPS champion, but being a multi-FPS world champion. After having a ton of success in MW, Cold War went a little bit differently. It was his first year on 4v4 Call of Duty, and while he wasn't as successful, he was still the human highlight reel. Everyone loves to watch Shotzzy's point of view. Whether his team is winning events or not, he puts on a show. It truly is spectacular how he moves around the map. There is no better player in terms of mechanical skill than Shotzzy. And even though Dallas Empire and Shotzzy didn't have the same amount of success in Cold War as they did in MW, they still ended up getting second twice and third at COD Champs. So all in all, it was a good year. But more importantly, people were really starting to believe that Shotzzy was not only a superstar player, but could potentially be one of the greatest when it's all said and done. After getting 2 years of Call of Duty experience under his belt, this is where things got a little crazy. Because OpTic and Envy announced a merger, and this had everyone in the Call of Duty scene in shock. Not only did Call of Duty and Halo legend Formal decide to step down, people were wondering who exactly was going to be a part of this new super team. And well, everyone kind of had a hunch, especially Hastro, that he had to keep his golden child. So when the new OpTic Envy team was announced, people were loving it. I mean, you have Scump, you have Illy, you have Dashy, and you have Shotzzy. On paper, this is one of the greatest teams of all time. And everyone knows Scump will forever be the king, but many believed Envoy was the prince and the next in line. But there were obviously different plans, as Shotzzy seems to be Scump's new prince, not only with his epic performances, highlight reel plays, but this year, he has really grown into a personality, a staple in the Call of Duty scene. And it's paying massively already, as OpTic is currently the best team in the game, and they won the very first major of the Vanguard season. And they're not looking to slow down anytime soon. Obviously, it's a team game, and it's not just Shotzzy, but he seems to help reignite the passion in Scump and this OpTic team. And they're playing the most fundamentally sound game that they've played in a very long time. Speaking of OpTic, go ahead and use my sub button as an agree button if you think OpTic is going to go back to back and win the second major at Minnesota later this month. We are also getting closer to 40,000 subscribers on YouTube, but back to the story. And now that Shotzzy has a couple years of experience under his belt, Shotzzy isn't just the same old flashy play style, highlight playmaking player. He's growing into his own. Not only is he unbelievably talented, he's one of the best teammates in the game right now. His communication, his leadership, his attitude, everything is off the charts. He is quickly rising to one of the best all-around players in the Call of Duty scene. So the question is, can Shotzzy take OpTic back to the peak of OpTic gaming? The peak of every green wall fan? Will the curse be broken? Will the merger be cemented? Will we see another OpTic dynasty?